go, here we 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 go. Hey, Facebook. Hey, welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday. I'm not going to take up too much of your time today because I do have a hard stop. So I'm going to go ahead and do what I do, and that is bring in the Instagram crew. So just hold on for a couple seconds and I will bring them on right now. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hey, Instagram. Welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday, where I pop in on your timeline and interrupt just for a few minutes, usually about 20 or 30 minutes. That's a few minutes. And share a piece of wisdom or advice or some nuggets that I've learned along my personal branding journey, my business journey, or just my journey called life. My name is Nick Scott, and I am a social media influencer, a public speaker. I am a public speaker, but what I meant to say was personal brand expert. Also, personal brand expert, public speaker, and social media influencer. And hey, how are you today, Rakita Johnson? Thanks for joining me for Wisdom Wednesday. This week's piece of wisdom, y'all, is for you to get your Instagram feed together. Remember last week I told y'all need to get your brands all the way together. This week we're talking about getting your Instagram feed, specifically getting it together. So without further ado, as always, I am simulcasting here. Hi, S. Treester, thanks for joining. I am simulcasting here on Facebook and on Instagram, and there is a slideshow presentation that is going to accompany this particular piece of wisdom. And if you want to see the slides and you're on Instagram, you hop on over to Facebook, and that is facebook.com/iNickScott. And there, hello, hey, it's Katie, Joe Nevels. Thanks for joining, y'all. We are going to be talking about getting your Instagram feed and getting that content together today. If you want to see the slides, hop on over to my Facebook page. Hey, the Passion Strategist, thanks for joining. Hop on over to my Facebook page, facebook.com/iNickScott, and you can see the slides. Otherwise, we are just going to get this thing going. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Let's get your Instagram content. Hello, Chef DK Blue. Thanks for joining. Let's get your Instagram content together. Because here's the facts of the matter, is that Instagram is the number one social media platform. Yes, I'm going to say it. I'm going to put it out there. The number one social media platform out there that is available for you to grow your personal brand. And if you're not using it correctly, not only is your brand not growing, but neither is your business. All right. Okay, here we go. So, how to publish Instagram content like a boss. That is what the title of today's training is. And what you're going to learn is, first of all, we're going to talk about what is content. When I say content, what exactly am I talking about? Well, I'm going to let you know. Then we're going to talk about various types of content. Then I want to really go into detail on how you can organize your content. And then lastly, I want to talk about the matrix. The matrix that you need to adopt right now to keep you and your Instagram game on point. Okay? How does that sound to y'all? Y'all ready to jump into this? Let's go. So what is content? Now, y'all know I love to give my definitions because when I say words, sometimes it's industry jargon that most people might not really understand. I am a trained marketer, so when I say content, what I am specifically talking about is anything that you share or post on your Instagram account. Thank you, the Passion Strategist. It's going to be good. I'm telling you. This content, so the content that I'm sharing with you today is going to be so delicious. So stay tuned and stick with me. So content, it is a noun. It's a thing. And it's anything that you share or post on your Instagram account. And then types of content, whatever it is that you share, right? So it could be photos, it could be videos, text, just plain text. It could be memes, it can be gifts, your ads. So if you're running ads on Instagram, that is content. That is content, and your content needs to be aligning with a lot of the tactics and strategies that I'm going to be outlining here today. Audio files. If you're sharing audio files because you have a podcast or you just share audio files for whatever reason, that is content. Links, that is content. And the music. So a lot of us like to put music in the background of our Instagram stories. That is also content. So it is anything that you share or post on your Instagram account, that is considered content. So the next thing I want to get into is how to organize your content and the best way to organize your content. Now, I just gave you 9 different types of content. That's a lot of different content that you can post on your Instagram account. So you need to have a way to keep it organized, and the best way to keep it organized is with a content calendar. Are y'all using a content calendar? Are you using a content calendar? Because if you're not using a content calendar, then chances are your content definitely does not align with many of the strategies and tactics that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So what is a content calendar? A content calendar is a written schedule of when, what, and where you will post future content. So it's not just something that's in your head, right? A lot of us, and I'm guilty of this too, we will get all these great ideas of the various different types of content that we want to post, where we're going to post it, when we're going to post it, but it never gets out of our head. It never gets out of our head. So in terms of accountability, how does that really work? Because we forget things. I know I do. I'm a middle-aged woman. I forget things all the time. So a content calendar has to be written. You understand what I'm saying? It has to be a written schedule of when you're going to post it. What are you posting? What piece of those 9 types of content are you posting? And then where are you posting it? For this specific training, we're talking about Instagram, but many of us have multiple social media platforms that we're engaged in. Thank you, girl. I'm just going to pause Facebook and say thank you so much to Passion Strategist. I appreciate that. So we have multiple places of where we're posting our content. So your content calendar is your roadmap for your content. 3 things that your content calendar is going to do. I already said it's going to keep you organized, but it's also going to keep you on track. It makes it easier to collaborate. So if you have a team, some of us, we are just solopreneurs, and that's fine, but get in the habit of writing these things down, because when you do have a team, because hopefully the goal is not for you to be a solopreneur for the rest of your life. When you have a team, when you develop partnerships, and when you have other people that are working with you, your content calendar just makes it easy to share that information. When we have stuff in our head, nobody has access to that but us, right? And then the last reason why a content calendar is important is because it allows you to see what's coming up in terms of your content, and then to fill in any gaps that you might have. So let's just say next month it is October. No, later this month is fall. Or does fall start in October? I think fall starts in September. So fall starts, and something that trends on Instagram every single season is when the seasons change. And let's say you have your content calendar built out for the next 3 weeks of the month, but you're like, oh wait, fall's coming up and I want to do a fall post. Your content calendar is going to give you a very high level view of what you have coming up and any opportunities that you have to fill in gaps. Okay? That's why the content calendar is important. So here on Facebook, you can just see an example of a content calendar. And literally every single day of this particular month, it looks like it might be the month of February on a leap year, or January because it says New Year's. There's 29 days, and on each one of these days, this particular person has exactly what they're going to post, right? On what day they're going to post it. So this is just an example of a content calendar. A content calendar doesn't have to be as in-depth as this. It can be a simple Excel spreadsheet if that's what you use. It can be a table in Word. Just get it out of your head and get it written down, okay? And the easiest way to organize your content calendar is with your content buckets. So if we go back and look at this content calendar, we can see that this person says, okay, well, I'm going to promote myself on these days. I'm going to share goals on these days. I'm going to ask a question on these days. Those themes of what your content sits in, I like to call those content buckets. And I highly recommend, when we're talking about getting your Instagram feed all the way together, is that you have at least 5 different content buckets. 5 different content buckets, okay? And for this example that I'm going to use on Facebook, is the 5 content buckets are relationship and family, your journey, what you eat. People love to share what they eat, so why not build that into your content bucket? Some flexing and some receipts. We're in the receipts era, so if you want to share some receipts, share some receipts. And then how you've grown as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a mother, or whatever your industry, your niche is. So these are just 5 different examples of content buckets. Other examples of content buckets could be Q&A, it could be behind the scenes, it can be testimonials, things like that. So whatever content bucket makes sense for your business and your brand, come up with 5 of them, okay? Your content needs to be frequent, and frequency is different than consistency. So when I say frequent, I'm saying something that is completed and posted on your social media account often. So your 5 content buckets need to be frequent, but they also need to be very consistent. So when I say consistent, I think a lot of people hear frequently, right? Post consistently. No, post consistently and frequently, because one will not work without the other, in my opinion. And what I mean by consistent is something that is done the same way over time. Your highlights, this is a question that I have on Instagram from the Passion Strategist. Your highlights can be content buckets, but Instagram stories is a whole different ball of wax. It is a whole different animal. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your content buckets, but your content buckets is more of an internal thing that you would use on your content calendar if it's just you. But if you have a team, it's like, okay, so this week we're focusing on this piece of content, or this day we're focusing on this piece of content. Does that make sense? So your highlights can be your content buckets, but not necessarily, because Instagram stories is a whole different animal that I can do another training on if you're interested. If you're interested in seeing a training on Instagram stories, show me some hearts, show me some love over on Instagram, and I'll make sure that I build that into my Instagram training and some of my personal branding training, okay? So your content, again, needs to be frequent and it needs to be consistent. And remember, I said that frequency is something that you do often. So you need to be posting on your Instagram account often. And I know we see a lot of influencers, they will post something today on Wednesday, and then we won't see something from them for another 3 months from now. That is not best practice, and that is not frequent. and it needs to be consistent. It needs to be something that is done the same way over time. So when you choose your 5 content buckets, stick to it for a minute. Don't start getting distracted and saying, ooh, I want to do that. Ooh, no, 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 no. Consistency. It needs to be done the same way over time. So let's see how this looks in practice. So remember those 5 content buckets that I gave examples of. Relationship and family, your journey, sharing about your journey, what you eat in a day or in a week or however you want to share it, flexing and receipts, and how you've grown. How does this play out? And this is why I suggest 5. So visually, we're going to post on Monday, right, about our relationship and family. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to share about how I've grown as a woman, as a mom, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, whatever it is that fits with your brand and your business. Then on Wednesday, I'm going to talk about what I eat. On Thursday, I want to flex. I want to show some receipts, maybe give some testimonials. And then on Friday, we're going to share an inspirational story, right? So that's 5 different pieces of content that align Monday through Friday, because if you're like me, you don't really like to work too much on the weekends. But 5 pieces of content that align with each day of the week. But guess what? As you continue to build out your Instagram grid, the little grid on Instagram, 3 posts in a row, 3 posts in a row, it looks very organic. If you're on Facebook, you have a visual of exactly what this looks like. It looks very organic. It doesn't look curated. It doesn't look like you are a business or a brand, because remember, people like to connect with humans. They don't like to connect with brands. We're talking about building a personal brand, but I want you to be human. And when somebody visits your page, I don't want them to feel like this is a business, even if you're running a business. You want to make quick connections, because people aren't spending a lot of time. They're going to look and they're going to say, oh, either it connects or it doesn't. So this 5 content bucket strategy allows your Instagram feed to look very organic and natural without having the same types of posts butted up next to each other. So you're never going to have 3 posts about family and relationship in a row. It's never going to happen. So now let's get into the matrix. On Facebook, you can see this lovely GIF of the matrix. And here is a secret about me. I have never seen a Matrix movie ever in life. So I don't even know what this GIF means or what scene was happening. Was it something derogatory, or I have no idea. But I know that this is a very popular image from the Matrix. So I'm going to give you my matrix. This is the matrix that you need to adopt right now for your Instagram profile in your Instagram feed. The first thing you need to do, and I just spent the last, I don't even know how long, 10 minutes maybe talking about it, is make a content calendar. I need to check out it's binge watch. Okay. The passion strategist on Instagram is telling me that I need to take a pause for the cause and watch The Matrix, because it's that good. So I might just do that. But the first thing you need to do is make a content calendar. If you don't have one, get one. Start one. Like I said, you can use Microsoft Word. You can use a spreadsheet. You can download a calendar off the internet, a blank calendar off the internet, and fill it in that way. So make a content calendar. That's the M in my matrix. A, assign a content bucket for each day. Assign a content bucket for each day. And again, I just spent how many minutes of your life talking about content buckets? Make sure that you are assigning your content buckets. The T is to tell stories in your captions. If you recognize some of those content buckets that I pointed out gave you the room to tell a story, share about your journey. That's a story. Talk about your growth. Those are stories. What's great about stories is they make emotional connections, meaningful connections with your target followers. So if you're not telling stories, start telling some stories. The R, remove any content that does not resonate with your target follower. Okay? Remove it. Stop posting it just because it seems cute or whatever. No, we want to be very focused. We want to be intentional, and we want to be strategic when it comes to our content. Our Instagram shouldn't be all over the place. And it doesn't mean that you cannot change your content strategy later on down the road. But what we want to be for a very specified period of time is we want to be frequent and we want to be consistent with the 5 content buckets that we've chosen, okay? So remove any content that doesn't resonate with your target follower. And then the I, all of our content, any piece of content that we're posting, it needs to either inspire, educate, engage, motivate, or entertain your audience. If it's not doing any of those things, then you don't need to be posting it. I'm going to tell you again, the I, your content needs to inspire, educate, engage, motivate, or entertain your audience. And then the X in Matrix is to execute consistently and frequently. And I know execute doesn't start with an X, but it's execute. Execute, okay? So there is the matrix. M, make a content calendar. A, assign a content bucket for each day, Monday through Friday or Sunday through Saturday, if that's what you do. Assign a content bucket for each day. T, tell stories in your captions. R, remove any content that does not resonate with your target follower. I, every piece of content that you post on Instagram, it needs to do what? One of these things, and that is inspire, educate, engage, motivate, or entertain your audience. And then X, execute your content consistently and frequently. So just to recap what we just went over, and we talked about what is content. What is it? Remember, I said content was anything that you post or publish on your Instagram account. Anything. And then we talked about 9 different types of content, right? Photos, videos, text, GIFs, memes, audio files, music, ads, all of that is content. And then we talked very in depth about how to organize your content. We talked all about your content calendar. We talked all about your content buckets. We talked about the difference between frequency and consistency. And then the last thing that I shared with you is my content matrix that you need to adopt right now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but you need to adopt it right now. So before I leave, I have to invite you to my next session of my personal branding masterclass. I have 2 sessions this month by popular demand, because last month people said one wasn't enough. And I want you to join me on my personal brand training, where I'm going to be spilling all the tea about how you can use your personal brand, not just to advance your career, because yes, you can do that with your personal brand, but also to increase sales for your business. So if you are interested in joining and learning more about how you can use your personal brand to advance your career and or to increase sales for your business, click the link in my bio if you're on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, the link is in the caption of this post. And the 2 dates that I have available this month are September 22nd and September 29th, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me, free live training. I'm going to be spilling all the tea about how to use your personal brand to advance your career and or increase sales for your business. Okay. Hey, Facebook. And thank you, Rakita Johnson, Public Speaking, for joining me. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. The Passion Strategist, thank you for your questions. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, all of you that had the time and opportunity and the space to sit in on this live training. It is Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Nick Scott. I am a personal brand expert, a public speaker, and a social media influencer. And I will be back with y'all next week on Wednesday for the next piece of wisdom that I have to offer. And before I go, yes, Instagram, I saw y'all do want me to talk about some stories. So I will get into getting some of that content together to share with you about some best practices for Instagram stories. All right. Y'all have a good one, and I will see y'all next week.